Hello, this is Adol. Welcome to the video lecture series on the course of Design of Steel Structure. In the previous videos, we saw the design procedures and how we have to calculate the effective length and all. So in this video, we are going to see the problems that are related to the design of compression member. Let's go to the problem. Problem number 1. A single angle stud ISA 60 by 60 by 6 mm of a roof truss is 1.06 meter 1.06 meter long. It is connected by one rivet at one rivet at each end. Determine the safe load this truss can carry. Area of ISA 60 by 60 by 6 is 6.84 centimeter square and minimum radius of gyration is 1.15 centimeter. Some lambda values and sigma AC values are given. Solution. So what we have to find? We have to find the safe load carrying capacity, that is area into sigma AC we have to find. The sigma AC is permissible axial compressive stress. So area it is there. So the question area is given at 6.84 centimeters square. It is 684 mm square. Our minimum is 1.15 centimeter is 11.5 mm. So from this we can find the lambda value. So lambda is equal to L by R minimum. So what is the L value? It is 1.06 meter. Convert it into mm. So 1060 mm by R minimum is 11.5. So we can get it as 92.17. So lambda is there. So from the table between lambda and sigma AC, we can find the sigma AC by using interpolation. So sigma AC value by using interpolation is sigma psi 1 minus psi 1 minus psi 2 divided by lambda 2 minus lambda 1 into x. So I am substituting the values 90 minus 90 minus 80 divided by, it is usually 90 minus 100 into what is the x value? 2.17. So this gives sigma AC as 87.83. We have to find the permissible compressive stress. So the allowable axial compressive stress. So in the question it is given single strut. So we are taking permissible or allowable compressive stress for single discontinuous angle strut. So for a single discontinuous angle strut, your sigma AC dash is equal to 0.8 times of sigma AC. So 0.8 into 87.83. So it will give 70.264. So this is your sigma AC. Then we can go for the safe load P. Safe load the strut can carry. So P is equal to A into sigma AC dash. That is A is equal to 684 into 70.264. So this will give us 48,060 Newton or 48.06 kilonewton. So this much load our angle strut can safely carry. So this is the solution of the problem. The second question is, a double angle discontinuous strut. So it is a discontinuous strut, double angle discontinuous strut consisting of two ISA 70 by 45 by 6 mm with longer legs back to back connected to opposite side, of gusset plate 8 mm with two rivets. These are the important points you have to note down from the questions. The length of strut between center to intersection is 3.5 meter. Assuming tacking rivet have been provided along the length, determine the safe load carrying capacity of section. If the yield stress of steel is 250 megapascal, some lambda values and sigma AC values are given. So in this question they are saying two angle sections. Assume so these are the two angles. These are the two angles that are connected back to back to a gusset plate. This is a gusset plate. So gusset plate. So it is connected back to back. Okay. So it is by a tacking rivet. So it is a tacking rivet. So in this, there will be two axes. One is x and xx axis. So this xx axis for a, it is same for a double angle strut. Your x's axis for the single angle coincides with the, for if you consider the x's axis for the single angle, it will coincides with the double composite two angles. So your x's is same, x's is 1. But if you consider the yy, so this is the yy center to the gusset plate, but this yy for an angle it will differ. So it will come for an angle, so it will come somewhere here, it will come for a angle, so it will come here. So xs is no problem for us, but yy is a problem because xs is coincides. So we can take our xs minimum from the handbook, is handbook, but why for yy axis we cannot take, we have to find the radius of gyration for the yy, because the yy of the gusset plate is differ. So yy of the double angle is differ with the yy of single angle. So we have to find the or yy value, or yy value, or xs we can take normally because it is coincides with the single angle as well as the double angle. So from the steel table, for ISA 70 by 45 by 6 mm, 70 by 45 by 6 mm, the area is 656 mm square, 656 mm square, and RX or double X value is 22.1 mm. CYY value is 10.9 mm. So where this CYY? So this CYY value is from here to up to here, it is CYY. Sorry, CYY. CXS is from here to here, it is CXS. So we don't need to consider about CXS because we know we can take the RXS value, but we have to consider the CY value to find the moment of inertia. So Cyy, then Ixyy is equal to 10.3 into 10 to the power 4 mm power 4. So these are the values we are getting from the uh, Indian steel table, from the IS steel table. So for double angle, Rx is equal to 22.1 mm. So we know, because single angle coincides with composite or double angle. Composite or double angle. So Rx's value is okay, but we have to find the Ryy value. So Ryy value, how we can find? Ryy is equal to radius of gyration is moment of inertia Iyy by area. So area is given in the question, so no problem, but we have to find the Iyy. So Iyy formula is Iy given in the question plus area into Cyy plus T by 2. This T is thickness of the gusset plate. This T is thickness of gusset plate. Gusset plate. So how many angles are there? Two angles are there. So 2 times. So 2 into, what is the Iy value given in the question? It is 10.3 into 10 to the power 4 plus, what is the area? 656 into Cyy distance is 10.9 plus thickness of the gusset plate is 8 by 2 into square plus. So if you solve this one, you will get the value of 49.42 into 10 to the power 4 mm power 4. So we get the Iyy. Now we have to get the Ryy value. So Ryy value is Iyy by A root of. So root of 49.72 into 10 to the power 4 divided by 2 into 656, because we have two angles. So how much it is? It will come 19.46 mm. 19.46, so we can consider as a 19.5 mm. 19.5 mm. This is the Ryy. We know Rx's value and Ryy value. R minimum is, the minimum radius of gyration is lesser of Rx's and Ryy. So which one is the lesser? Because Rx's value is 22.1 mm and Ryy is 19.5 mm. So our R minimum value is 19.5 mm. Then we can find the lambda value. Lambda is equal to KL by R minimum. So what is the K value here? Because it is a double angle connected opposite to each other. So we can assume any value between 0.7 L to 0.85 L. So we are assuming K value as 0.8. We are assuming K value as 0.8. So if it is 0.8 means 0.8 into, what is the L value? It is actual length is 3.5 meter. We are converting into mm, and 19 divided by 19.5. That is our minimum value. So if you do this, your lambda value will comes as 143.58. So 143.58. Then we have to find the sigma AC. So sigma AC, how we can find? By using interpolation. So interpolation, so lambda values are given, lambda and sigma AC values 51 minus 45 by 10 into 3.58. So this will comes at 48.852. This is sigma AC. So for the same condition, your allowable axial or permissible axial compressive stress is same as the sigma AC. So your sigma AC dash is equal to 48.852. So then we can go for the safe load. The strut can carry, the member can carry. So safe load is area into sigma AC dash. So area is 2 times of 656 into 48.852. So it will comes at 64,093.8 Newton or 64.1 kilonewton. So this is the solution for the problem number 2. Third question. A strut of effective length 2000 mm is to carry an axial load of 10 kilonewton due to wind load. Check whether an ISA 50 by 50 by 6 mm is alright for this purpose. And we have to check the slenderness ratio of the strut. So for one ISA 50 by 50 by 6 mm, the area of cross section is 568 mm square and R minimum is 9.6 mm. Some lambda values and sigma AC values are given. So we have to check the slenderness ratio. The slenderness ratio should not be greater than maximum slenderness ratio. So here the maximum slenderness ratio is due to wind is coming. So the maximum slenderness ratio is 250. It should not greater than 250. Then we have to check the uh, compressive strength of the member that should greater than 10 kilonewton. It should not be less than 10 kilonewton to carry the load. So first we do with the slenderness ratio. So slenderness ratio formula is L by R minimum. So in the question itself it says it's a KL by R minimum, it's effective length, that is KL is directly given. It should not be greater than 250. So 2000 divided by R minimum is 9.6, not be greater than 250. So this value is 208.3. So it is less than 250. So it is okay. So this slenderness ratio is okay. So we can do the further step. So we have the lambda values. Then we can find the sigma AC. So sigma AC is 28 by 28 minus 25 divided by 10 into 8.3. So it is comes at 25.51. This is the sigma AC. Sigma AC. But here, what is the allowable compressive strength is, that is allowable sigma AC dash is, it is 33.13% of sigma AC, because here wind load is playing, comes into the play. So we have to increase the sigma AC by 33 1 by 3%. So it will come as 4 by 3 of sigma AC. So that is 4 by 3 into 25.51. It will comes at 34.1 sigma AC. So here sigma AC is 34.01. So P is equal to PAC, design compressive strength is equal to area into sigma dash AC. So area is 568 into 34.01. So it comes at 19,317.68 Newton. It is equal to 19.3 kilonewton. So this PAC is greater than the 10 kilonewton. So it can withstand up to 19.3 kilonewton, but our required load is 10 kilonewton only. So hence our section is safe against wind load. So this is the solution of the third problem. So in this video we saw some of the problems that are related to the compression member. So in the coming videos also we will see the problems that are related to the compression member. Thank you.